Alright, I believe I am live now. Yep. So, welcome everybody. My name is Rico, and I am your final runner. A bit earlier than I anticipated. I thought this was going to be an hour from now, but I'm still about it. First off, I want to thank Ra and CSUDH for just hosting this and giving me an opportunity to be the final runner. This is the first time I'm the final runner of a marathon, and it's also the first time I'm running this category in a marathon. So this is going to be Crash 2, 100%. And the run's really fast-paced, so I want to explain just like the movement tech before I actually begin, because I actually don't think I'm going to have time at the beginning of the run to explain it. So this is Crash's like base movement speed. And then this is Crash's like slide spin speed. You see how he kind of like slows down during his spin. So this is called the neutral slide spin, and basically if you do a slide, let go of all directional inputs, and then spin, you maintain slide speed. So basically you're going as fast as a slide for the entire run. Another really big movement tech is zigzagging, where if you alternate diagonals in the air or during a slide, you actually go a little farther than normal. It's pretty easy to apply into the air. Applying it in the slide's a bit more difficult, so I don't really do it that much. But you'll see me just kind of like wiggle in the air a lot like this. But yeah, so other than that, I think we're ready. Alright, I have 2 backup saves in the only spots where I think the game will possibly crash, so hopefully nothing goes wrong. Alright, let's begin. I'm gonna play the game in German because of the sound that Cortex makes at the beginning. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. He basically sounds like a fighter jet. Alright, so the first level we're gonna go into is actually level 2, which is Snow Go. And right off the bat, we're going to see a lot of like crazy things. So first off, here's this TNT. We don't need to bounce on TNTs. TNTs in this game have expanding hitboxes, so if you hit them in a proper way, you can blow them up and then get out of the range of the explosion in time. So the goal for 100% is to get all 25 crystals, all 42 gems, unlock all 5 secret exits, and then beat the final boss. So there's going to be a trick coming up right about here. This is the red gem. You're normally supposed to have to get this later on in the game. But with what we call a glitch high jump, where you do a slide jump and a spin at like roughly the same time, you actually get more height than normal, and then you can use a body slam to get just enough height to grab that gem. This run is approximately an hour and 20 minutes. My PB is 116, which I got actually like a couple weeks ago, but I average runs that are like 121 to 124, because this game can be very volatile. I was trying to damage beast on that seal, but take what we can get. All right, and that was the first level. You can kind of see how fast-paced this is. Like this is a 100. This is like a full. This is full completion for the game, and that was done in like a minute and a half. All right, so this next level is Turtle Woods. I actually have to be pretty careful in this level. So the way, for those who don't know how Crash Bandicoot works, each level has a crystal, which you just get by walking along the main path. And then it has like 1 or 2 gems, and every level has what's called a box gem, where if you break every crate in the level, you're awarded a gem at the end. So you might be wondering yourself, why am I going through this level not breaking a single crate? That seems counterproductive, doesn't it? Well, as you saw in Snow Go, there are 5 color gems in this game, and each color gem kind of like encourages you to do something a bit unique, and they kind of like cryptically hint at you to what to do. In the case of the blue gem, what you want to do is get to the end of the level by breaking 0 crates. And if you do that, you're awarded the blue gem. So I have to be really careful, because obviously breaking a crate at any point in this is really bad. So I'm playing this level a bit safer than I normally do. And yeah, that's the blue gem. So I'm actually going to go back here and Death Abuse in this hole. Something that's really nice about the Crash games is that even if you die, you end up keeping any crystals or gems you've picked up. So it's faster to just grab that gem, Death Abuse, to go immediately back to the beginning of the level, and then just do the level normally, as opposed to exiting the level and then entering again. Another really nice thing that does is that it resets my mask count. The way levels are ordered in terms of the route for this category, and just this game in general, has to do with masks. So the mask is Aku Aku, and if you have him, he protects you from 1 hit. If you have 2 of him, he becomes gold and he protects you from 2 hits. And if you have 3 of him, he latches onto your face and you become invincible for about 20 seconds. That sounds really good, but there's one problem with it. In this game, when you go invincible, your slide becomes very, very slow, which means neutral slide spin becomes slower than the standard walk. So the entire routing philosophy of this game is to avoid third mask form at basically every instance, with one exception that I'll mention when we get to it in the run. Other than that, this level is pretty straightforward, I would say. Some things you'll be seeing me do here is you can actually spin bounce off of crates. Box physics are very interesting in the original Crash games, where if you just properly time a spin on a bounce, you'll break the crate, but then just also like not fall off of it, which will be very useful in a lot of spots, because there are some crates that take multiple bounces to break, and spin bouncing treats it as if you spun it, but then you still bounce off the crate. And then there I also use the glitch high jump to get out of that hole. Normally you're supposed to like fight off a bunch of rats, but we don't want to do that. I'm resisting the urge to split. Alright, and that was the first 2 levels. So there I just did a glitch called walking while talking. Basically, if you mash square and X, you're able to jump on the first frame of the beginning of like a cutscene in the warp room. And this gives you the ability to move during the cutscene, and then you can use triangle to end the cutscene. And this basically makes it so that you just lose no time watching any cutscenes. So this is the first of 3 chase levels in the game. This level kind of just really shows off how broken neutral slide spin is, because the boulder is supposed to move about as fast as Crash, but we're just completely leaving it behind. So I actually do have to wait on these nitro crates. So nitros are crates that you can't touch without getting hurt, and normally there's a nitro detonator at the end of any level with nitros that just destroys all of them. That was not supposed to happen. This level doesn't have a nitro detonator because those are the only 4 in the level, but if you go too fast, the game will just straight up not break them, because it runs on the policy of if it wasn't on screen, it didn't happen. Hold on. Alright, that was a little awkward, but I managed to still not die. But yeah, so this game deloads anything that's off screen, which just because like the game can't handle that much things in play at one time. So if I were to like go too fast and just like ignore those nitros, the boulder wouldn't break them, and then I would have no way to break every crate in the level. Alright, and that was Crash Dash. Alright, so this next level is Hang 8. This level is the first of 2 to have what is called the Timer Gem. And I'll explain it when the timer actually shows up on screen. So that timer is running from the moment I enter the level. I forgot to turn on analog. So normally you don't want to use analog because it's actually slower than D-pad in this game, but you can use it in some spots, such as on this jet board. I use it just because it helps me hit better angles. But anyway, so if you reach the end of the level before this timer runs out, you're awarded what is called the Timer Gem. In this level, it's just another clear gem. So you saw I broke a lot of crates early on, but then like after that checkpoint before the bonus, I just stopped. We're gonna grab the Timer Gem and then Death Abuse, but we still want to get as much as we can. That way we don't have to repeat most of the level. All right. Hopefully I didn't mess this up. The game can hard lock here, but it almost gave me a heart attack. I thought I was actually going to do it. That hard lock's controllable, and I almost never get it, but I did get it yesterday, so I made a safety save just in case. Alright, and then this level has the first of, like, an alternate route, I suppose. I guess not really, Turtlewoods had one also. But this is the blue gem route. And basically this route just has extra crates in it, so you need the blue gem to finish this level fully, which is why we do this level after Turtlewoods. The way, like, gems are placed in Crash 2 is really nice, that, like, with one exception, you don't have to repeat any level. And you can just fully complete most of them on the first visit. That's not really something you can do in all of the levels in Crash 1, and it's definitely not a thing you can do in Crash 3. So, it's just kind of nice that Crash 2 lets you do that. Alright, and then from here we're just kind of finishing out the level. Not too much else going on here. Warp 1 is actually like a pretty difficult warp room for the beginning of the game. Hang 8's probably, in my opinion, the easiest level in the warp room, or at least it's the one that's the hardest for things to go wrong in, but it's also pretty unforgiving if things do go wrong. Yep, come on. Alright, so we only have one more level in this warp room. So this level is the pits. That's the name of the level, I'm not insulting it. Alright, so this TNT and 3 crates next to it is a little interesting property. If you off-screen TNTs, they automatically detonate, and they're programmed to delete like a certain, or destroy a certain number of crates with them. That TNT is pretty interesting in that if you deload it, it destroys all 4 crates, or all 3 crates next to it. If you watch it blow up, it doesn't destroy the 1 crate that was on the side. So if you're wondering why I didn't spin bounce that TNT, that's why. So this level has a branched path, and the idea is that you go down both paths to get everything, but the right path actually only has like 2 boxes at the beginning, a couple at the end, and like a whole lot of nothing in the middle. So it's better to just get the 2 at the beginning, immediately go to the left, clear the entire left side, and then just backtrack. Nope. Yeah. So those birds have... You're not supposed to be able to spin those birds, but if you spin the back side of them, they can actually push you forward. But if you spin the front of them, like I just accidentally did, they push you backwards and you take a hit. It's not really a big deal. Alright, so this bonus has some cool strats, but it's a little risky. So I'll go for it once, but if I fail it, I'll just do it, like, slower. Oh, wow. I totally should have died there. That's a really good showcase of, like, how, like, crate physics are really nice in this game, where you're just able to do tricks like that obviously weren't intended. Alright, and that was all of Warp Room 1. So we'll be going on to the first of 5 boss battles, and this is Ripperoo. He is the most dangerous, hard and difficult boss fight I've ever seen in any video game. I'm just kidding, this boss fight is completely effortless. He is 100% an auto-scroller. You just stand in a specific spot, the pattern never changes, and you wait for him to blow himself up. Alright, so since there's nothing going on in this fight, I'm gonna explain some like the version differences in this game. So this is the PAL version of the game, which, if you know anything about speedrunning, probably sounds really weird. When is the PAL version ever the optimal version of the game? The reason the PAL version is optimal for Crash 2 is because, to compensate for the lower frame rate, Naughty Dog actually buffed Crash's movement speed in the PAL version. So if you play like the NTSC version and the PAL version side by side, you can see just how much faster Crash moves on PAL. And then we play on PS2 because PS2s have an option called fast disk speed, which just cuts down all the load times by about half. And I want to say it saves maybe like 2 minutes or so. The actual fastest version in terms of loads is the PSTV version, but that version has a lot of input delays, so it's not really popular. I used to run on PSTV, and I bought a PS2 just because I didn't like running on that version. Alright, so this is Warp 2, and we're going to open it with Barrett, or as I like to call it, Bear Shit, because this level sucks. It's not too bad. There's just like 2 particular box formations that are really annoying to hit, and if you miss a crate in this level, you have to death abuse because this is a rail level. You're automatically moving forward and you can't turn around. So I'll get the first one here, and of course I don't get it. That's the easier one, but it's the worst one to mess up. That's like a 30-second time loss. Yeah, this level is pretty awful, and it's right after the first warp room, which makes it even more annoying. Alright, let's try this again. Better, much better. Alright, so you're probably wondering what movement I'm doing here. I'm doing a charge immediately followed by a jump, which some people in the community call polar launching. So polar has a charge button, which is similar to, if you've played Crash 3, the Tiger levels also have a charge button. The difference is that you can't do it indefinitely like you can in Crash 3, and there's a lot of cooldown if you let the charge finish. So if you charge and immediately jump, you maintain most of the charge momentum, but also are immediately able to charge again once you land. Alright, so the other bad box formation's coming up. This one's harder, but it's not as much of a time loss. And of course I get this one first try. The reason that one in particular is so difficult is just because it's actually a lot easier on NTSC, but they didn't compensate, or when they buffed Crash's movement speed, they didn't account for the fact that him moving faster makes that crate formation a lot harder to hit. So it's really difficult on the PAL version. Alright. So now we'll be entering Crash Crush, which is the second of 3 chase levels. I actually think this level is pretty cool, which is a stark contrast to the remake of this game in the Insane Trilogy, which is also a good speed game. Like I don't want to come off as if I'm like putting it down, but I really don't like the remake version of this level. It's very difficult, whereas this level is a bit, it's not super chill, but it's like way more chill. This is one of your first childhood games along with Spyro. Nice. This was the first video game I ever owned. It wasn't the first one I played, but it was the first one I owned, and it's always been one that I put a lot of time into. And the reason I started speedrunning is because I just looked up speedruns of Crash 2 5 years ago, watched what was at the time the world record, and was like, wow, I am not good at this game. Alright, so I have to wait on these crates also, for the same reason I did in Crash Dash. Yeah, since I mentioned the remakes, the Insane Trilogy, despite the fact that they're remakes, they advertise them as remasters, but they're actually remakes of the original 3 games. In terms of speedruns, they're completely different games, and they're very good speed games in their own right. Like, aside from level design, they really aren't that comparable. Alright, so that's actually the... I'm pretty sure that's the last of, like, waiting on nitros we'll have to do. I'm actually, like, intentionally running, like, holding down the run button while on that bonus platform, because for some reason, if you don't, this wall here deloads. And the chase levels have this weird property, or at least the first two do, where if you slide across a wall, it actually gives you a speed boost. So it's better to not have that wall deload. Alright. And that is Crash Crush. The ordering for this warp room is pretty straightforward. We just start with Barret and then just wrap around the right. So this level's the eel deal. Casually, the sewer levels are some of my favorite. I just really love their aesthetic. Speedrun-wise, they can be a little annoying. Just because they curve around like this. But they're not too bad once you actually get used to it because of... you can do a thing in these games called curl sliding where... even if you begin a slide, you can still like kind of control the direction you're going by just inputting like left or right. And that helps a lot to offset the disadvantages that D-pad would have over analog in terms of like lines. Alright, so you're probably wondering, this guy's obviously cheating. He just ran through a wall. This is another one of the secrets in the game, and this one gives you the green gem. The hint that this exists is that it branches into two paths, and the one on the right is just a room filled to the brim with nitro with one crate. And you're supposed to sit there and think, why in God's name would they make a room entirely filled with nitro if it was a dead end? Which is the hint that it is in fact not a dead end. But that gives us the green gem, and then we just death abuse and continue on our way. These robotic mice are actually really annoying because you actually cannot spin them. And when Crash spins, his hitbox becomes larger, and the primary form of movement involves spinning, so it can be a bit treacherous to get around them. There, I employed a little zigzag slide to hit that bonus platform without touching the ground. Alright, so these purple reinforced crates, you can only break with a body slam, and in the PAL version, the body slam radius is a maximum of 4 crates, so I could have gotten that in one body slam, except I messed it up. In the NTSC version, it is allegedly a maximum of 3, but more often than not, you're only going to get 2. The body slam is pretty awful in the NTSC version, so it's really nice that it works properly in PAL, except for when I apparently can't do it. Alright. Pay attention to how slow Crash moves on these hangrails. This will be very important in approximately 40 minutes, I want to say. Alright, so I'm going to do a damage abuse here. You don't actually need this mask, really, for the next level, and it saves time over just waiting for that spike bot to continue, because those enemies are invincible. Alright, so now we'll be going into Snowbiz. This is actually, both casually and speed-wise, this is one of my favorite levels in the run. There's so many cool things going on in this level. The snow levels in general in this game are really cool. Like, Snowbiz is just like really well designed, and then Cold Hard Crash has a really interesting trick that we'll see when we get there. Snowgo is an interesting level. The only thing that hurts is that it's the first level in the game, and it's really difficult for being at the beginning. So that's the only reason it's kind of an annoying level. But from a design perspective and how it's done in the speedrun, I also think it's really cool. So this is the red gem path, and this just has a lot of boxes in it, but it's also just a really nice layout. That was another case of me abusing the expanding hitbox on the TNT to break them without getting in the range. I'm playing this a little safe just because this section can be a little scary. Dying in this section or shortly after it is very, very big time loss. My PB actually loses 40 seconds in this level because I died twice here. It's the only like really huge mistake in the run too, I think. Everything else is like minor movement errors. Oh, wow. I got hit by the scenery there and knocked back down, but somehow I didn't hit the nitros. So those porcupines are not supposed to be able to be killed when they have their spikes up, but there's like a small window as they come up where you're still able to hit them. But yeah, that's the entire red jump path. That is one of my favorite sections in the entire game. Alright, I'm gonna wait this out. Alright, now that I break this checkpoint, we're safe for basically the rest of the level. I guess this is a good time to mention ice physics. Ice physics in Crash 2 suck. It really screws with your momentum, but you also go really fast on ice. Sliding on ice is the fastest possible movement speed you can get, so when you do a slide spin on ice, regardless of whether it's neutral or not, you just go as fast as the game will allow you. Well, I did this wrong. Yeah, I damaged abuse there just because it lets you get through that section faster. I wanted to break the TNT without breaking the crate below it, because then it would have broken every crate in that stack, but I had to wait and break the last one because I just missed. Alright. And that is Snowbiz. Alright, so the last level in this warp room is Air Crash. And Air Crash is the only level in the entire run that we visit twice. Just the way this level is set up, there's so many secrets in it that getting the box gem in the first visit is actually just impossible. So for now, we will just be getting the crystal and the gem that is in what is called the death route. So the way death routes work, if you've played the original Crash 1, you know how you can't get the gem in a level unless you beat it without dying. Death routes are kind of similar like that. They spawn only if you reach them without dying. So I am going to skip that checkpoint. I kind of just don't want it. I'm feeling daring today, but not daring enough to go fast on this cycle. Alright. As soon as we touch the death route, though, it is ours for the rest of this save file. So if for whatever reason I die and then have to revisit this, I don't have to worry about not dying again. Alright, so I'm going to grab this Death Route gem, and then I'm going to introduce you guys to a strat that is unironically called Swagmaster 420, if I can get it. Alright, yeah. Ceilings are a suggestion. Alright, so I specifically didn't break that one checkpoint because I want to come back to the first one and then touch this platform. This is the first secret exit in the game. And this unlocks Snowgo, the alternate path of it. And this is how you're normally supposed to get the red gem. But we already got the red gem. So we don't actually have to do it. So you're probably thinking to yourself, why did you unlock it if you don't have to do the red gem path? Well, like I said at the beginning of the run, 100% involves unlocking all 5 secret exits. Each secret exit unlocked is actually 1%. So if I were to not unlock this secret exit, then I would finish the game with 99%. And obviously that's not full completion. So even though we don't do it, we still have to unlock it. Alright, so this is the Komodo Bros. This is definitely a lot less of an auto-scroller than Ripperoo. The way that the skinny guy, Komodo Joe, moves depends on Crash's positioning. So the places I'm standing in are intended to get him to move exactly the way I want. The first 2 phases are really easy. The third phase is a bit rougher, so I kind of just play that one by ear. This boss fight is actually a little slower on the PAL version because the rate at which the guy in the center throws the swords is a lot slower, but it's not enough to make the NTSC version worth running. Oh, I did not expect him to throw a third one. Alright, that wasn't too bad. And yep, that is Warp Room 2, so we'll be going on to Warp Room 3. So the next level is Plant Food, and this is another level that I think is really cool, but it is very unforgiving to mess up. This has the second timer gem, and this time it's actually the yellow gem. The way we do this is a bit different than how we do it in Hang 8, though, so hopefully it goes well. The game lagged a little bit there. Alright, we should be good. So you're probably wondering, why did he enter the bonus round? Wasn't there a timer gem going on? And yes, and it's still going. So in the original Crash 2, even if you enter the bonus round, the timer still keeps going, even though it's no longer on screen. And Plant Food, you just have just enough time to reach the end of the level, even if you do the bonus. But if I mess up anywhere before that, it can be very risky, because it's not a huge window. But it's enough of a leeway where even though I'm playing this a little safe, I should be able to get it. And there it is. There is a backup strat here, though. If you are not going to make it, you can actually die in the bonus round, and that resets the timer back to, like, full time. Wow. I just straight up missed that platform. So if I had gone slow or had the death abuse, that would have been a backup, but, yeah. And then from there, we just finished the level. That crate didn't break, so I had to go back and get it. I just got what's called a Ricky bounce, where if you spin on the exact frame that you land, you actually get a little bounce. I believe it's actually named after the Rixer. I don't know why. I guess it just happened to him a lot. It's before my time. The entire ending of this level is just being a jerk right now. But the beginning was cool, so it's fine. And, yep. Everything's going wrong at the end. I'm really glad that went well, because that's a pretty rough level. So the next level is Unbearable. This is the third and final chase level. And if the name didn't tip you off, you are now chased by a giant bear. I don't have to wait for these nitros because there is actually a nitro detonator in this level, which is nice. I'm reasonably convinced the bear moves slower than the boulders because you just like really leave them in the dust. So I'm just gonna death abuse for no particular reason. And then, oh, this looks interesting. Let's check it out for no particular reason. And there's a secret area in this level. So the reason for the death abuse there is that the way it's normally supposed to go is that the bear is supposed to like break the bridge and then fall. And then the hint is that it leaves 3 planks behind. But waiting on the bear takes forever. So if you death abuse, the bridge just automatically despawns, and it's way faster. Alright. This bonus is really cool, though. There's like just a lot of really neat platforming. There's some really cool damage reduce strats. I messed that one up, so hopefully I don't miss this part. I'll play this part a little safe. Alright, cool. And then you just get that really cool explosion sound effect. I didn't actually have to break that. See? Alright. So there's 2 more chase sections in this level, so this is the 3rd one. And if this level couldn't get any cooler, you actually end it by being chased by a bear on a bear. This part of the level is a bit finicky though. You can get caught on a lot of stuff. And then turning around because I just really miss Polar and I want to make sure he's okay. He's fine, but we aren't. So that is another secret exit. That is the secret exit that gives us access to an entirely new level called Totally Bare. This is level 26. It's one of the 2 secret levels in the game that don't have a crystal but have a gem. And this is a nighttime bear level. As far as bear levels go, this is probably like my favorite one aside from Unbearable, which is only a bear level at the end. This being nighttime makes it a little more difficult, but I do think design-wise it is the most interesting one. Alright, 20 crates there, which means I'm good so far. Memorizing crate count at specific spots in the run is very useful to make sure. It's just a kind of like a quick check to make sure that you didn't miss anything. All right. And that is Totally Bare. So the next level is Road to Ruin. This is the level where I think the difficulty of the run just like spikes dramatically. This is a really cool level, but I would say it's like also a very hard one, especially if you're just starting out. And there's a lot of skips, including this one right here. So you're not supposed to be able to do this. This is another section that's only available with a secret exit, but obviously we don't need that. And it just has those 32 crates. So we just break those and then go back into the normal level. Right. Oh, well, I missed. Okay. Alright, we're good. So yeah, that is the first of 3 scary jumps in this level. Oh, well, I died. There we go. Yeah, so that jump bypasses the entire death route. Which, if you've played this game casually, that death route, you just wrap around the entire level to the left, and it takes forever. Alright, so the last scary jump is actually in this bonus round, and it's not nearly as bad as the other 2 jumps, so... But yeah, that jump just bypasses that entire puzzle. Oh, I didn't want to take damage there. Oh well. And that was Road to Ruin. There was a couple flubs, but overall it wasn't too bad. Alright, so this next level is sewer related. There's a couple difficult things in this level. I don't have a mask here. I didn't take one out of the Road to Ruin, so hopefully I can get a strat I'm looking for here. And I did not. You can snipe the scrubbing robot into this scientist, but I didn't get it, so I just have to play it a little safe. The flame hitbox on those scientists is obnoxiously huge, so skipping them is really, really difficult. Alright, so I'm going to break this checkpoint, intentionally not break the mask, because I'm going to go down here for the yellow gem path. Just grab the gem and then immediately death abuse. The rest of this gem path is just a whole lot of nothing. It just only has the gem down there, so... I tried to... You can do a flame skip there, but I didn't get it. Yeah. This is a level that's really cool, but like a lot can go wrong. So I'm actually going to line up a little bit to the left here, and hopefully this will let me skip this really fast-moving fan blade. Here's hoping. Nope, I messed it up. Alright, so hopefully I don't die on this one. I died on that one. I was supposed to spin the enemy, but he didn't feel like getting spun, so I'll try this again. Alright, I'll give this one more shot, and if I die to it again, I'll just do it normally. Okay, yeah. Fanblade does not want to cooperate today, so we'll just do it the way Andy intended. Andy is the programmer of this game. He blesses and curses our runs. Yeah, you see how slow that is, so that's why we don't do that. Unfortunately, the rest of this level is going to go pretty slow also. Ideally, I want 2 masks here, that way I can damage abuse on the last 3 scientists, but I only have 1, so I'm going to wait this one out specifically. He's the like hardest one to get around, so it's just better to just wait him out if you have to wait any of them out. You see, I was like so far away from him and I still got hit. And yeah, that is Sooner or Later. That was definitely not a good pass of the level. It was really rough, but that level was pretty hard, so... Just happens sometimes. Alright, and the last level in this warp room is Bear Down. This is my least favorite level in the game. Not because it's really hard, because this level is honestly pretty easy. It's just really, really boring. It's compared to even just like the other 2 bear levels, this level is very, very slow. The way crates are laid out and the way hazards are laid out, you just like can't go fast really until like really late in the level. Like I'm not going this slow for the sake of marathon safety. This is just like how slow, like this is the speed you have to go to just guarantee you don't die. And it's just tragic. It's just like Crash 2 in general is a really fast-paced speedrun, but then like this level is just like dead in the middle of it. I don't know if I have quality options, Rob, but maybe that could help with like the frame drops that you're getting. Because I don't think it's on my end. I double checked to make sure. Alright, so this is like the most blatantly obvious secret in the game. Like, what else would that be there for? And this is the secret exit that unlocks Air Crash, so now we will be revisiting that level to get the box gem. It's your internet? Oh, well that sucks. Right, it's not too bad, it's just like chopping a couple spots, so... It throttles you after AP. Oh, that's terrible. Alright. So yeah, this is the secret entrance of Air Crash. And yeah, from there, we've seen this level before, so now it's just a matter of going through it all and just breaking all the crates. I don't know if lowering the quality might help anyway. Like, even if it's your internet, maybe just, like, dropping it if you can could help. Alright. So now we get to see this bonus round that we didn't see last time. There's really not too much to it. Spin rails on that TNT just because it's faster and it looks cool. Those, and then... and there we go. Alright, so here's a neat little thing. You can actually ride the jetboard on this little section right there. After that, we just close out the level. That mask doesn't matter, so we're gonna lose it in the next boss fight anyway. And then I get stuck in the scenery, and there we go. And that was Air Crash, and that finishes out both Warp 2 and Warp 3. So now we'll be going into the first boss fight, or this is the third boss fight actually, and this is Tiny. If you've watched a certain Insane Trilogy speedrunner by the name of Cameron Vengeance, you would know that in the remake, this boss fight is programmed by a monkey. It's not that bad in this version, thankfully. There is a bit of, like, I guess, RNG to it. The way the platforms fall is a bunch of set patterns, but which one it picks is random, but it picks out of the set. So you can kind of, for the most part, react to it. And Tiny generally doesn't do anything unpredictable. Oh, I got the center. It's like the easiest one to make him fall down. Alright, I'm feeling daring, so let's do a little cool trick here. Air dance. Alright. So now we'll be going into Warp 4. This is probably my favorite warp room just because it has some of the coolest levels. Most of this warp room is really difficult, but there's so many cool things going on. And we start immediately with Ruination. Casually, you will probably remember this level being very difficult. Speedrunning, this level is very difficult. It's a really cool level, but one of the biggest things is that it's just very prone to dropping inputs. Also, apparently, just not killing enemies. That's a small death, though. That's not a big deal. So I'm not going to open those outline crates. That's actually a bunch of nitros, and I don't need to trigger them. So I definitely was here to set up cycles. This is the green gem path, but the green gem is for nerds. Dropped inputs are also pretty cool, I guess. I don't know how to zigzag. This is like a pretty standard fare Ruination. You just die like 3 times entering this path. And then sometimes the game just drops your input somewhere here. You can actually spin away these logs. A lot of people don't know that, actually. You can abuse the scenery here just to like bypass some of these hazards, which is really nice. And just like completely ignore this guy just by doing this. And then slide down. And death abuse and continue on our way in the level and almost not jump. This bonus is kind of cool, but also a little scary. This part's not that cool, but like this ending part here, there's some cool tricks you can do, like this. Very nice. Alright, so the only thing of major note at the end of this level is that it's very important I leave with 2 masks. So hopefully I leave with 2 masks. I'll probably play it a little safe just to make sure I do. Waiting on this just so I know what the cycle is. Alright, good. I was actually a little scared there. Yeah, I'm playing this really safe just because I do... Whoa, nice rat. I really want to show off the trick in the next level, and it does require 2 masks. And I don't want to risk the backup route. Alright, cool. We're good. Alright. So, the next level is Hanging Out. And you're probably wondering, why was it really important that I brought 2 masks in? Well, for the first and only time, hopefully only time in the run, we are going to go invincible. So, uncharacteristically, I'm just going to wait this enemy out. You're probably wondering, well, didn't you say invincibility is really slow? Yes, yes it is. It'll make sense in a moment. Yeah, playing this safe also. This is a strat that is so cool that I just, like, it would feel really bad if I didn't get to show it off. Okay, I got stuck there, so I'm just not even gonna risk this. You can't hurt these enemies, so... Alright, cool. Alright, so, remember how I said pay attention to how fast Crash moves on the hangrails? This is why invincibility is really, really useful here. It just makes this entire section so much faster. And just, it makes it entirely worth to just, like, slow down a little bit there. That's actually not the fastest thing you can do. It's actually faster to just, like, zigzag across the ground. But for it to be worth it, you have to have pretty good zigzag. You have to know how not to get stuck on the scenery. And it also just doesn't look as cool, so, you know. Alright, this bonus is scary, but it's also neat. You're going to do the TNT bounce here, and then... just completely bypass this puzzle. Just like that. Alright, I'm intentionally damage abusing here because after I get the gem, I'm gonna death abuse. Right, 93 is the magic number. And from here, there's this little interesting section back here. And this is the only instance where we use this, which is just pulling Crash's legs up. Literally the only spot in both Crash 2 and Crash 3 where it's useful. You can still do it in Crash 3, but there's no point where it's ever needed. Alright. And this is... I think this is the last... No, there's one more secret exit after this. But this unlocks Totally Fly, which is the second of the 2 secret levels. Alright, so this is a nighttime jungle level. And a lot of people are really scared of these levels because of the dark gimmick, but these are kind of like the chase levels where it's really just a lot of memorization and a lot of not getting stuck on scenery like I just did. Yeah, this Firefly for some reason doesn't like to follow you, so this bonus is actually just done in the dark. See, it's not that bad. So this section is just mean. This Firefly doesn't last long at all, but there's all these reinforced crates that you have to body slam. Thankfully, that's fine. Very nice. It's a cool level when it goes well, and I don't really think it's that difficult, but it can be a little annoying to mess up. Alright, so this next level is Digging It. This level is a notoriously difficult one, both casually and speed-wise. So hopefully it goes well. I consistently lose like 15 seconds in this level. This level is also annoying because there's a lot of RNG. The way most of these plants spit their bombs, like in terms of positioning, is RNG. The way these weird, like, tiki heads move is RNG. There's just a lot of RNG going on. Can actually do a glitch high jump to bypass these fences. And then I can also just, like, abuse the scenery and just, like, walk in that little gap there. And then that guy decided to be a jerk. I break that checkpoint just to avoid an accidental loop log if I break it while bonus counter is still going. Alright. Making sure that says 22, because yesterday during a practice run I accidentally left this bonus with a crate behind, and you can't redo bonuses, so if you accidentally leave a crate in the bonus, you have to reset. And that's not fun. Alright, so this is the death route. I'm just gonna damage abuse to get these nitros out of the way, break these two crates, and leave, because I don't like this death route. This death route is really mean. That death route, again, it's just a lot of empty space, except for a couple things at the beginning and end. So we'll be backtracking at the end of this level. So this red dirt, the gimmick with it is that if you press square while standing on it, you'll dig underground, and this is how you're supposed to avoid like enemies and stuff. It's really slow, so we don't do that. Alright, so backtrack here. Kindly enough, you can just stand on this scenery and just enter the death route from the back. I guess I'll get the gem on the way out, because I missed it. But yeah, there's 4 crates back here that we have to get, so... Alright, that's convenient. I was trying to death abuse or damage abuse either on the plant or on the bomb, so I got that, which is good. You can abuse invincibility frames of the spin to just not get hit by that explosion hitbox, which is nice because it's deceptively large. Alright, so we're gonna get this gem, and then beeline back to death abuse for the final secret exit. So this plant's okay. Well, that's happened to me a lot recently. This plant's on this little like island all by himself, and he's a jerk because he just killed me like that. So I just really want to get rid of him. Bye, plant. I can see the chat. Thank you, Nizzy. All right, so that's the last secret exit. This unlocks Road to Ruin, but much like Snowgo, we already did the secret part of Road to Ruin. So this is just unlocking it for the sake of percent. And then we're actually going to enter Totally Fly again, but we're just going to leave immediately. The reason we enter Totally Fly is that if we exit through Road to Ruin, it puts us back in Warp 3, whereas Totally Fly puts us back in Warp 4, so it just saves time of going up the elevator. Alright, so the next level is Cold Hard Crash. This level, if you remember it casually, you remember it as being very, very evil, the way you have to get it full completion. It has the most boxes in the entire game at 155, and you have to do this really convoluted method of going in and out of the death route a handful of times. I don't feel like doing that, so I think there might be a better way to do this. I don't want that checkpoint. I'll go back for it later, I guess. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing the bonus either. Then go up this death route. Again, touching the death route means that it is mine for the rest of the save file. Hit this nitro just for damage abuse and to break an extra crate. Oh yeah, crap, I forgot to do stuff. So I guess I have to come back here. I really should have just done that bonus earlier. I don't know why I forgot about it. So we'll just go down here, I guess. Just do a spin bounce there just to make sure I don't deload any of these crates. There's a really evil hidden crate up there. Oh, I forgot that other checkpoint, didn't I? And man, I really messed this up. You know, I think it's better, like, you know, I think I'll just death abuse and start over. Oh, hey, look at that, the box counter's still taking up. Yeah, so this is a pretty, I say this trick is probably pretty well known at this point, but if you've never seen a Crash 2 run, you're probably really confused right now. This is the box dupe, and basically, if you die during, like, while the box counter of the bonus round is still ticking, when you respawn, the game doesn't reset the box counter. So essentially, I just duplicated a load of boxes. And now I can finish Cold Hard Crash without doing all the crazy convoluted going in and out of the death route. Should do a raffle, go for it. Yeah, raffle for the IP and Pools hat. It's a really cool hat. You guys should get it. I wish I knew about it. Otherwise, I would have joined the raffle. Yeah. Oh, nope, I need that. So I'm intentionally going to the edge here. That way I can just bypass all of this. So yeah, because I duplicated so many crates, I can actually leave some behind. There's like a leeway of 3 crates I don't have to get now. Alright, so we're at 151. The total crate count is 155, and I have to break exactly 155, so I'm going to leave that crate behind. If I actually break that extra crate, when I get here, it'll say 156 out of 155, and it won't give me the gem. The game is programmed to give you the gem when you have exactly the right number of crates that's in the level. And I'm pretty sure the reason it's programmed that way is because in Turtle Woods, if you get the box gem and then go back, and you don't have the blue gem, it'll tell you you got X out of 0 crates. So, and so we'll be going to the last warp room, level in the warp room. This one's pretty straightforward, so I'm going to explain why we don't do the box dupe in any other level, because you think that would be really useful, like anywhere else in the game, right? Well, it only works if the box counter is still ticking, and most bonus rounds don't have enough crates where you can death abuse by the time and still have the counter ticking. So it's really like only at its most useful in Cold Hard Crash. You can use it to save a little bit of time in digging it, but it's really, really tight. And there's also just a random chance you won't get it, because if you get the shoes animation when you death abuse, there's just not enough time. So as a result, it only gets commonly used in Cold Hard Crash. But yeah, the gimmick in this level is that you're chased by these hives of 5 bees. I don't like bees, I'm afraid of them, so this level is a little unnerving. But it's a pretty straightforward level otherwise. Aside from that, was a really interesting staircase of nitros, don't you guys think? Yeah, no, actually, I want to go back and see that. That's so weird. Why would there be a staircase of nitros? Huh, that's interesting. So yeah, this is a color jump path. It is the hardest path in the entire game, and I don't feel like doing it. I feel like Naughty Dog had the foresight of just how difficult that path is, so they put the purple gem at the very beginning of it. So you just have to grab it in Death Abuse, and you're good. All right. This is a level where curl sliding becomes really useful just because of how much it just curves all over the place. So this is the only instance where you're ever going to see me dig into the dirt intentionally. It's just easier than like trying to dodge the bees and the nitro. Alright, and that is Warp Room 4. So we'll be going into the fourth boss fight, Engine, and this is like the only boss fight that I would consider not super easy. There's actually quite a lot going on in this fight. Alright, so Engine's in this giant mech. And each arm has 10 hit points and the shoulders have 5. Very nice. You want to break the each piece in groups of 2, because if you break one, the other one just recharges hit points. So here, I'm gonna make sure I break these 2 at the same time. So that's 3. All right, hopefully I got this. All right, cool. How do I enter? Do I just type in, like, pick me 1 through 5? 4, I guess. I don't know. This was another reason I picked German, because, Engine just sounds great. He sounds so angry. Alright, so this is Warp 5. I think this is on a whole easier than Warp 4, but it can still be pretty scary. And it all starts with this level, Piston It Away. This level is rough, both casually and speed-wise. So this level has a death route, and there's no special gimmick I can do to circumvent it. If I die in this level, I have to reset it. And this level is very long. Casually, I would say this is probably the hardest level in the game. And speedrunning, it's probably still in the top 5. Well, I didn't jump. Alright. Guess I'll play this really safe now. Ooh, that was risky. Yeah, I'm gonna play this super slow now. Let's go, Bruce Campbell soup. Alright, so you saw me bypass the death route. This is the actual intended way the level is supposed to go. You're supposed to skip the death route, get the rest of the crates in the level, and then backtrack back to it. This level is very evilly designed. And again, I'm going to play this really safe. And especially because you have to go all the way out for that one crate. Like I said, I'm going to wait a lot of this out. Just to be safe. To quote my good friend, Groovy, why would they put cycles in the bonus round? Alright, so now we finally go back to this death route. And from here, the level is actually pretty easy. It's just getting to this death route that's really scary. The route itself, it really isn't that bad. This is a level where you can really abuse a lot of 3D jumps, where like in these 2D sections, you're still playing a 3D platformer, so you can just like bypass a lot of this. You actually can't do this in the remake. They added a lot of invisible walls, and I kind of don't like them for that. They're kind of jerks. Alright. See? It's all fine. Alright, I want to say that's the scariest thing in this warp round of the way, but it's actually not. The next level is honestly harder. Alright, so this is spaced out. So this level has the multicolor gem path, where in order to finish it, you need to have all 5 color gems, which we do. But I'm going to death abuse at the start, just for the sake of making sure the cycles are exactly where I want. I guess okay. I guess I didn't really explain cycles in this game. So the Crash games run on mostly global cycles that are... Wow! How? Okay, well this is going great. They run on global cycles that are running for as long as the game is not paused. And this includes like when you're in other levels, when you're on the menu, all this stuff. They reset every time you die though. So usually when I death abuse is to make sure I know exactly where the cycles are. And it just lets me go through this section fast. There are also like there's like cycles that only are running while the level is running, and the cycles that are only running when Crash gets near them. But the most common cycles in this game are global. Thankfully, I feel Crash 2 isn't like super cycle heavy compared to Crash 1 and 3, unless you're at like top level. That's kind of nice because like practicing with global cycles in mind can be very annoying. Alright. And that is the entire color gem path, but we still have to do the actual level proper, so we're going to death abuse back to the beginning. Thankfully, the level itself, once you get out of the opening, really isn't that bad. It's just this opening is really rough. Alright, I didn't really get what I wanted, so I'll play this a little safe. I can go a lot faster here, but it's really risky if you just like flub the movement a little bit, so it's better to be safe than constantly dying. And I guess I didn't really mention this thing I did in the death route of Piston It Away. So I'm going to do it again here. You can bounce on this enemy and then just like run along the wall here. And it just bypasses all of that. Right, you can jump around this, but I'm not really good at catching the cycle afterwards, so just to be safe I won't. You can actually embed there if something goes wrong. Very nice. Embedding is when you get stuck in scenery and can't get out, and it's essentially a soft lock, and you just have to reset the level. It's not essentially a soft lock, it is straight up is a soft lock. You can't finish the level and have to reset it. Alright, and the rest of this level is pretty smooth. You can spin these lasers to not get hit by them. I feel like a lot of people don't actually know this. Alright. So this next level is Pack Attack, and this is a jetpack level, and this is one of my favorite levels in the game, and that probably sounds weird to you because nobody likes the jetpack. There's a really cool trick here, and I really want to show it off, so if I don't get it, I'm going to do it again. Okay, hold on, I can get it still. Come on. I just need a spin? Come on, game. There we go. Who needs the jetpack, right? So this trick's really cool. This is called Jetpackless. And you can see how this could be faster. It is really risky though. That's why. It dropped my spin and the game crashed. I have a backup file though, so it's fine. This is why I had a backup file. So yeah, this gives me time to explain why the game crashed. Because if you touch anything electric, or if you die to nitro, or if you get invincibility, or if the game just lags too much, the game will crash. Because the game just can't handle it. The game is not programmed to have the standard electrocution animation in it. So when it tries to load that animation, it can't. So the game crashes. Alright, like I said, I had a backup file for like specifically right before that level. Just in case something like that ever happens. Oh look, we're back here. Alright, let's try that again. That's how it's supposed to look. Oh, well, I guess I won't use that mask. Alright, I'll try to actually pay attention this time, because if the game crashes, it is completely your fault. Like, I shouldn't have kept trying to slide that enemy after it dropped the first spin. Alright, that's how it's supposed to look. And those firewalls don't actually have a hitbox, so you can just spin right through them. Alright. And then I'm gonna be for sure to just go a little slow there, because that's the lag spot where the game can crash if you go too quickly through it. Alright, so the other reason this is really fast is this little thing I'm gonna hopefully get here. Oh, hold on, let me set it up a little better. There we go. So yeah, that's probably confusing a lot of people. So the way this game works is that it loads levels in chunks. And when you pass this like specific spot in the level, it puts you in the last chunk. And it realizes that you are not on the jetpack, so it throws you to the end of the level. And with a proper spin jump, you can grab the crystal, body slam, and just land at the end of the level. And that's part of the reason that the trick saves like 20 seconds, you know, when you don't crash. Yeah, the crash was unfortunate, but I really, really like that trick, so I just really wanted to show it off. Alright, so this is Night Fight. This is the other nighttime level in the run. I'm just gonna damage use there because that nitro stack is like really finicky to work with. This level's pretty laggy, which is kind of annoying. There's actually an NTSC exclusive crash in this level because of how much it lags. So isn't that great to have at the very end of the run, just a random crash? Alright. I didn't mean to do that, but you know, I'll work with it. I just wasn't thinking. I think that's technically faster, but nobody ever goes for it just because sometimes it's just nice to have the mask for the last level. Alright, so this is again the death route. It only has 2 crates at the end and then the gem like a little far in. I'm getting sceneried a lot here. Alright, yeah. Playing this kinda slow, but it's not really a big deal. Alright. So this firefly runs out, but I can use the scenery to know where the hole is. Those 3 mushrooms are the visual cue I use to know the hole is there. Alright, so we have one more level to go. And this is Rocket, and this is the other jetpack level. And this one we will not be doing jetpackless on, but I will do this thing's nice. If you do that, it skips this animation at the beginning, and Crash just immediately gets on. I think it saves like a second and a half. Alright, so you're probably wondering, why don't we do jetpackless in this level? I had to turn the analog back on. I forgot that the game crashed. Well, look at this box formation. Can you imagine having to do all this, like, on foot? It's really, really difficult, and if you do it optimally, it saves like 5 seconds, but you have to do it like nearly perfectly, and like nobody wants to do that. So this one we do on the jetpack. In the any % game over abuse and no game over abuse categories, you actually can do jetpackless in this level, and I do, but in 100% it is totally not worth it. But we do get to end the run with this song, which is, in my opinion, the best song in the game, and one of the best songs in the series. So you can actually fly through these enemies on the PAL version, just you move fast enough to bypass them. I just didn't get it with that guy. Alright, this wire is being a little weird. So. Alright, and yeah, you can just bypass them like this. And that is the final gem, the final level, and if all went well, this should show 97% because the last 3% is the final battle with Cortex. And I'll just verify it to make sure. That is, in fact, 97%. Alright, so this is the final boss. It is one of the most pathetic final bosses in video game history. I say one of the most because the remake version of this fight is even more pathetic. But basically, he runs away, you hit him 3 times, and the run is done. So time will be coming up after the third hit. And time. If I actually split properly. There we go. Time. It was like a 1:20:45. That's honestly really good for a marathon for me. If it weren't for the crash and pack attack, that probably would have been a 1:19 or like a really high 1:18, which is really good because my reset lists of this run are generally pretty bad. So to get a 1:20:48 in this marathon is great. But yeah, that was Crash 2 100%. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you again to Raw and just CSUDH for hosting this, for letting me be the closing run of this marathon. It was really exciting, and I'm really glad I got to show off this category. Like I said, I've never run this category in a marathon. I actually only just recently started leveling up in it. Like my PB's increased, like dropped by like 3 minutes just in the past couple weeks alone. So I'm just really happy I was able to do this, and I'm really glad we raised so much money for the charity. I don't remember what's called, the East Side Riders Bike Club, the biker gang or whatever that Deo called it. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the entire marathon. I'm really glad I got to close it out, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks, guys.